Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aptera Owners Club. Last night, I was kind of just thinking about my investment in Aptera and that video that I made about the projected timeline for production. And I was thinking of other startup EVs like Rivian and Lucid Motors, which have just now started delivering cars about 4 to 5 years after they had their initial prototype. And I realized, those are more complicated vehicles and they have to undergo full testing because they are considered automobiles. And so they may not be the best example of the timeline that Aptera would follow. So I try to find other manufacturers of startups of less complicated, smaller vehicles like the Aptera. And of course, I have that video on Elio Motors, which many people confuse with Aptera. And it was very clear that Elio was not serious and they were never going to really deliver a vehicle, at least to me. Now, there's two other companies that are making relatively simple three-wheeled vehicles. One is Electra Meccanica. They sell this solo vehicle, and the other one is Archimoto. Now, both of these companies have actually delivered some vehicles to customers, Archimoto being probably a little more successful in doing so than Electra Meccanica. But I kind of started reading a lot and like researching what Electra Meccanica was doing for the past several years, and was wondering, what are the lessons that Aptera can learn from Electra Meccanica, because they seem to have had a lot of problems. So I'm sure most of you guys watching this video know what the Electra Meccanica is. It is a solo, it's a one-person vehicle, and I'll scroll down to the specs of it. So it's an EV, three wheels, tadpole or reverse trike design, just like Archimoto and just like Aptera. Has a 100-mile range, top speed of 80, has a composite chassis, 0 to 60 time under 12 seconds, rear-wheel drive, 56 horsepower, three-wheel power disc brake. So this is far inferior to Aptera specs. And then in terms of dimension, roughly the weight, a little bit lighter than the Aptera. Ground clearance is about the same. Much smaller vehicle, obviously. So looking back at news articles about this was an article from September of 2016. This is when they were saying that they were selling this thing for $15,000. And you see, it looks pretty much the same as it does now. It hasn't changed a lot in design. Looks almost identical. And at the end of this article, they're saying Electra Meccanica is currently taking orders on its website. The car is expected to ship in 2017. I think this is kind of where Aptera is now. They have a prototype vehicle, they're taking orders, and they're expecting it to ship, in the next year. And that's where Electra Meccanica was in 2016. Then in 2017, this is an article from Roadshow by CNET. This is from April of 2017. And in here they say, well, they expect deliveries in early 2018. All right. So then here's an article from late 2018, so September 2018. And now in here they're saying we expect deliveries in October, set to debut in October. So they thought they were very close. Here's a Motor Trend article from early February 2019. And this is when they were still advertising this thing for $15,500. And, they talk about it, and they're saying that it comes with a 2-year warranty. They've been in talks with a production facility in China called Zhongshan Industrial Group, and they hope to sell 5,000 Solos by the end of 2019. Then, this is an article from early this year, February 2021. They've still not delivered any major vehicles. Although there's many press releases saying that they delivered some vehicles to customers. And what it is they delivered some of their pre-production models to certain customers. So it would be like taking delivery of like one of our alpha vehicles and having Aptera sell one of the alpha vehicles, and then if they were to say that they had sold a vehicle, but they have not sold one of their full production vehicles as of this time. Now in 2021, they've increased the price $3,000 to $18,500, and they still are haven't delivered any vehicles. Then if you go to Electra Meccanic's investor site, they have all these glowing press releases, and I'll go through a few of them. So this is a press release from 2017, and at that point they had 120,880 orders of Solo and 40,000 of this Tofino, which is an even more expensive car that they I don't think they even have prototypes of, totaling $4 billion in anticipated purchases. So if they had actually filled and sold all these orders, that would be $4 billion. So this is, almost 10 times the number of orders that Aptera has currently. That was in 2017. 2018, they have this press release saying how they went from concept to production in less than 2 years. And they're saying that they're in production in 2018, which means that they have made a few cars locally in Canada. Then in August of 2018, they were listed on NASDAQ, so they went public. So Aptera plans on going public sometime in the next year and a half. So they went public. They have not delivered vehicles. Here's their stock price. This is when they went public right here. And then, it shot up, and then, they weren't delivering any vehicles. And then there was a little more interest early this year. A lot of EVs got a big spike, and then they're kind of back to where they started when they IPO'd. And then they say that they completed their first production Solo in July of 2018. They rolled off their assembly line and arrived in British Columbia. So this is, I think this is like their first one that they made in their factory. That's in Canada. And then in 2018, they say the company remains on track to commence production and deliver Solos to customers in 2019. So in 2018, Electra produced over 40 manually built in their facility in Vancouver. So I think that's what they're talking about here. This is one of their first manually built ones, handmade. And then they said that in 2019 that they had the factory grand opening in China. They expect to deliver 5,000 vehicles in 2019. Obviously, that did not happen. And then here, this is just 1 month ago, October 2021. And they're saying that they've delivered their first customer deliveries. So yes, this is when they delivered their first customer deliveries. So, they were saying in 2016 that they were going to deliver in 2017. And now finally, in October of 2021, they are delivering their first vehicles. And this is not mass deliveries. They delivered a few vehicles. And so in these press releases, companies can say whatever they want. They can spin things however they want. If you want the actual truth, you need to go to the SEC filings, because if you lie to the SEC, there are legal consequences. So they have to tell the truth. And so here's their SEC filing from early this year. So business overview. Our first flagship EV is the Solo, a single-seat vehicle, of which we have built 64 prototype vehicles in-house of December 31st, 2021. So basically they're saying all the vehicles, they were calling these production vehicles in their press releases. They are saying, they admit that these are prototype vehicles that they built in-house, and they built 64 of them. Then they built 60 pre-production vehicles with our manufacturing partner. That's their Chinese manufacturer. And now we have some of these, they have used them for prototypes, and some of them have been delivered to customers and used as test drive models in our showrooms. So they have delivered a few of these pre-production and prototype vehicles to customers, and it's called these customer deliveries. These are not true customer deliveries. We believe our schedule to mass produce EVs combined with our subsidiary significantly differentiates us. So they feel like they have some advantages in production, although they haven't been successful in doing it in over a 5-year period. Then they said that as of the end of December 31st, 2020, we have produced 30 Solos. So they've produced 30 production models. Deliveries we made to key markets. The company has targeted sometime in 2021 for initial deliveries to customers, and indeed they did. I think they delivered these 30 EVs to those people a month ago. So I mean that's where they're at. It took them from 2016, when they were first saying that they were going to deliver cars the next year, till 2021 to deliver cars. I mean, if Aptera follows this timeline, which I really hope they don't, and I'm not sure what mistakes Electra Meccanica made to make this take so long. And I hope that the management at Aptera is much better at this than Electra Meccanica was. But they are. It would be like if the paradigm order people got their paradigms 4 years from now, and so that would be 2025. That would be like the first orders. The people that are in volume, hopefully getting their regular ones, that would be even way past 2025 if they follow the same timeline as Electra Meccanica. So I don't know if you guys have any idea, what did Electra Meccanica do wrong? It's not like they re-engineered their vehicle significantly. It looks exactly the same. Their picture here back in 2016 looks basically the same as this car. It hasn't changed dramatically. It's not like their engineering was any different. So why did it take them 5 years to produce this relatively simple car? This is a much simpler car and technologically far inferior to the Aptera. The Aptera is a much more complicated car. And they also increased their price by about 15 to 20% during the time period before they released it. And if you look at their SEC filings, financially they were quite strong. If you look at, let's see, I'm going to scroll down. It's a very long report. But yeah, they have like $120 million of cash on hand. So these people were financially very strong. So I'm not sure what their problem was in why it took so long. And I really hope that Aptera does not follow the same path and take 5 years to deliver their first commercial vehicles to actual customers. So if any of you guys have any idea what they did wrong, please comment below and why you think Aptera is going to do better than them, because it's quite concerning actually. They do say that making prototypes is easy and mass production is hard, and it seems like if you look at Electra Meccanica, it's very hard, extremely hard. And hopefully the executives at Aptera have studied what companies like this have done right and what they've done wrong, and they have some better plans to avoid some of the mistakes that they have made, although I'm not sure what mistakes those are. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this video wasn't too much of a downer. I'm still hopeful because the people at Aptera seem very competent, and I'm hoping that we will start seeing deliveries within a year or two at the latest. Hopefully not 4 or 5 years like these guys did.